All right, I think we exist again. Thank you for joining us and sticking with us. You okay? Are you all right? Do you need...
And we're back.
Do you need a hand with that? Okay, so, that was Planes of War. That was lovely. Thank you all for joining us. Big shout-outs to our presenting sponsor, Game Night Games and Cool Stuff, and our other main sponsors, I Want That Stuff, Northern Lights Terrain, and Battle Phone. Love you guys. And I think with that, it's time to go take a look at our results. You've got the best overall page here. These should cycle every 2 minutes or so we're just going to keep talking. But yeah, Travis Jacobs from Lords of the North in the States coming in and taking best overall.
Yep, those filthy Americans. Filthy with their zebra striped pants and beards and fresh haircuts and...
Yep.
Damn.
We got a chance to hang out with them over the course of the weekend, and they were great folks. We do hope they come back. Braden Cole and Colin Figel coming second and third. It's...
So we had guard, chaos, I believe chaos, guard. And then ninth was Dustin, which broke the top 10 with Tyranids. And then our 10th was Tau.
Yep.
So that rounds out the top 10. So 50%, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the top 10 were chaos or guard.
And I wonder how much like the models that Chaos gets factor into that sometimes, because they've been a fairly strong army since the start of the edition, what with the ability to soup between the various Chaos gods. The models are always gorgeous, so they kind of show off the ability to paint them a bit more. Obviously, Chaos has no effect on sportsmanship. We hope you're not praying to the Chaos gods for sportsmanship points. But, it's just interesting to see such a strong presence for Chaos in the top 10.
Actually, I just didn't even realize. This is the first time I actually looked at it and thought about which factions were in the top 10. But, so I'm actually just really kind of baffled by that, to be honest. But, I mean, granted, most of the field were chaos and
that's fair.
So,
and Scotty's in the chat mentioning that best overall is a combination of battle points, sportsmanship, and appearance scores. That's 100% correct.
It's 33% of each. So.
Yep. Professor Grant says Hive Mind. Yep, 100%. Best in show. Travis Jacobs also won best in show, but with best overall, the best in show goes into the next winners, which is Colin Figel. Am I saying that right?
I think it's Figel.
Colin Figel.
But so he brought chaos, and honestly, his army, some of the models that were painted were more to like display quality.
Yeah.
And for this, so we had another group, Manitoba Model Soldier Society, come out and actually do our judging, and we were very strict. We were instructed them, because that's how they usually judge, but we just started, no, it's got to be, they have to be tabletop, like it's got to be aesthetics on the tabletop. So like you're not looking at a model like this, you're looking at it like this, right? You're and in groups of models, so there's so it makes a difference. So I think Colin kind of lost a few points there, actually, because that was the
it'll cycle over again.
That's why. Lost my train of thought.
You think Colin lost a couple of points because they were being judged by the Manitoba Model Soldier Society. Thank you for doing your paint judging at like eye level and not tabletop level.
No, tabletop level versus up here, because there's a lot of I saw some crazy amounts of detail there that some of the other armies didn't. No, most of the other armies didn't have. And but it just wasn't that type of game, because most of those details, when you look at it on a tabletop, you actually lose. You don't see most of it, right? So I think there's a little bit of that there, but that's okay. Still did really well. Shouldn't take anything away from him, but
it's not easy.
But yeah, it's super not easy. Like, no, I don't think Scotty, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe anybody went over like 20 points in painting, I think, or something. Oh no, wait, it's out of 30, I think.
Yeah.
So I don't think I think there's maybe a handful of guys that went over 20 points.
Yeah.
So like, despite the spreadsheet being out, the scoring rubric being out for a very long time,
And
a lot of people
part
didn't want
2
to.
of our Preparing for War series, Painting a Winner, where you and Professor Grant, getting you too mixed up, take it as a compliment, where you and Scott went over the painting rubric and Scott gave us some tips on how to paint an excellent army, or how to speed paint your army so that you can get it to tabletop quality right away, and then how to do those extra details that'll win you the best in show. Yeah, still some scores there.
Yeah,
That are numbers.
Yeah, some of those were. That was one of the things I think maybe I was a little disappointed in, because I think the best overall scores would have been a lot tighter if everyone just would have looked at that spreadsheet, maybe the rubric, maybe even like a week or two in advance, and just like then took a stare at their army and says, "Do I have this somewhere?" or stuff like that. But that's okay. You know what? Whatever. It's not what everyone wants to do, so that's okay. That's not a big deal. But that was just something I noticed. It was whatever.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah. Overall, 33% generalship, 33% painting, 33% sportsmanship. So overall, it was pretty tight. The red ones at the bottom represent people that had to drop for whatever reason. Although Eric Singer also dropped, so that sheet is missing that, but that's okay, not a big deal. But yeah.
Yeah, and again, the images will keep cycling through. But one of the things, Scotty's in the chat mentioning it's 33, 33, 33 to Feed Me Rockets, 100%. Well, 99. Anyway, so yeah, it's a fairly even distribution of points.
Yep.
But we were seeing that, like, we saw some of the most gorgeous armies that we've seen at Plane of War at this past event.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go through all of them. So it should rotate shortly.
It'll rotate shortly.
So yeah, but there was like, we got Eldar. There was 3 Necron players. So that was cool. And so while they were waiting for this, I had to actually play a game. So we had one guy had to drop out, but we didn't hear from him, so we weren't sure if he was late or if it was actually if he was not showing up. So we thought he was going to be I thought he was going to be late. But I brought my stuff in, and I just said, screw it, gonna play. So it was good. Had a Necron game. It was whatever. It was chill.
Nice.
Just something to do for the hour. It was our first game, so I had so much other stuff I didn't need to do at that time, so I was able to take a break and do that. But that was cool. So, but anyway, let's get back to these scores while they're shifted.
As we can see,
best in show.
37 at the top, 34 for Colin, because Travis obviously couldn't take away best in show, and a wide distribution across the rest of the event.
Yeah. So. Kevin coming in, I guess technically third, but due to the bump, second. So congrats to him. One of the judges in particular mentioned Kevin's army like he was like head over heels, like he loved it. He thought it was super cool.
Nice.
And I do too. Like he's got a neat shine to it. You'll see it in the pictures on the Facebook page, and they'll be up on the website too to link to that Facebook page and whatever. But yeah, so his was really nice. Mark LePage also actually had a really great Chaos Army. He had that swirling vortex in the back,
nice.
and then stuff like that.
Those
so that was really
the
cool.
Display boards.
Yeah,
we
so
talked about that.
They all did a really good job. Honestly, there's a lot more good stuff this year, so hopefully we keep that going.
Yep.
Now let's move on.
Best General.
197
points to Marcus. I'm gonna mess this up. Trowbridge. There we go.
So Marcus actually didn't come first overall in the ITC submissions.
Okay.
Because he had actually lost, I believe, to Brendan. And then he had a draw as well to Matt Czar. But he managed, even in his loss and draw, to take a lot of points. And best general is purely battle points.
Yeah, it's not just wins.
It's
wins
not
is
just
tiebreaker,
wins.
Right? Or one of the tiebreakers?
Wins. Strength of schedule is the tiebreaker.
Okay.
If it's a draw in battle, pure battle points, but as far as Swiss scoring to determine who actually wins for ITC points, if you win all 5 of your game, in this case all 6 of your games, you have essentially 6,000 plus your battle points. So anybody below that will have, with draws and losses, will have zeros and 500s.
Yeah.
So that's how that.
We've got Braden Cole here on Best in Show.
Yeah. So Braden Cole came up.
Sorry, favorite army.
Favorite army. He came up with what's the
29 points on
with
favorite army.
with Travis. They came
Yes,
together.
Lords of the North.
So what they did was they go to Depticon. They both kind of pool their resources and they just keep adding to the one army. And yeah, so they both had obviously very similar paint schemes for that reason. Actually, they're pretty much identical, if I am not mistaken. But they played different flavors. Excuse me. Well, one played with more aerial support units, and the other played with a shadow sword, I believe it was the variant of tank.
Okay.
So so together, when their boards were beside each other, it was just a massive presence, right? Because now you have 4,000 points of guard that all look the same. So it was really cool. It was a nice piece. But yeah. So kudos to them. Great job. They played well. You know, they had a great time, which is awesome to hear. And you guys gave them really good games. So
Yeah.
it was a win-win for everybody.
We got Bizarre Beast in the chat. Matt Czar, sorry, gonna dox you. Out of Kelowna. He's on our Game 6 stream. You can go back on, watch that, saying Marcus was dominating people in his wins. Great player. Yeah, he was. It was incredible to watch.
Yeah.
And Trav Jacobs jumps in and says Banehammer was the tank.
Oh yeah, that's right, Banehammer.
Yeah.
That's right. You were telling me you had the name on it, and that's right, Banehammer.
Yeah. Mark Laverne with favorite opponent because the previous 4 all bumped him down on other prizes.
Yeah. So the other guys, were taking either best overall, best general, whatever. So one guy can't scoop all the prizes or all the plaques. So yeah, he went to the next best. So congrats to him on that. It's always a challenge to be competing at the top tables and still being a good opponent about it. It's trying to pick between that moral high ground and maybe a move that could realistically win you the game. So so it's always interesting to see that correlation between winning games and still getting high scores in sports. So
yeah, and we saw that. I think Scotty was telling us some of the distribution for the event in the top 10 sportsmanship scores. Both the highest and lowest ranking general showed up.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just completely even throughout the event. There's no correlation between performance in best general and performance as a sportsmanship score.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a few kind of outlier scores which kind of made you kind of wonder at times, but otherwise, for the most part, it was very all over the place, and it was, it's nice to see that anybody can take it. I think I still firmly believe there's still way too many 5s being distributed.
Yeah.
I think that's
too nice.
I think that's still a problem. Like, people just are reluctant to judge that, not judge it hard, but really evaluate, because realistically, you have 6, if you have one amazing game, that makes sense. But if you have 6, you can't have 6 best games. If I told you had 6 games this weekend, pick your favorite. You only can pick one. You can't say all of them, right?
Yeah.
So if someone's just putting 5s across the board, I mean, I appreciate the fact that you enjoyed all your games, but give them all 4s. But there's, you know what I mean? If there has to be something in that game that really stands out
and represents that extra level.
Whether it's something the other player did, or a set of moves that between the two players, or there can be a number of things. But that's one thing that really kind of gets me a little bit. But hey, that's okay. You know what? At the end of the day, that's what they want to do. It's people want those scores in, so we try and appease them if they want to. Actually, on that, I'm going to segue and rant a little bit here.
Yeah, go for it.
But tracking those scores are an absolute nightmare, and you guys make it like you compound the nightmare by not putting names, forgetting to hand them in, and man, why? Because I could care less about putting those in. Like, I'd say it would be so much easier all three of us, Scott, you, and myself, if we could just say, just BCP does everything, it's generalship, we can do some best in factions and best overall or something like that. Or not even a best overall, then it'd just be just best general and faction awards. But we don't. We put the emphasis on the painting and being a good sport and stuff, and then you guys fucking kill it. But anyway, so that's always something that I always laugh about it because I'm always kicking myself. Come sit in front of that computer, like trying to deciphering names. Like there's like 4 Matts. Why does everyone have to write Matt and no like
Matt Z?
Yeah, Matt last initial or the first letter of the last name and
the
stuff.
The artist formerly known as Matt. Yeah,
but so that's always funny too. But whatever, what can you do, right? But overall it was good. The Red Cross didn't take over our space the night before the event, so we actually got in at a good time to get everything set up. Thank you to the people that helped set up, tear down, transport. Like that shit is a headache, and you guys, you give up some of your time and you help us out, and it's greatly appreciated.
You made it easy on us.
Yeah, you made it a little easier on us. So, what do we got?
We got Travis Jacobs in the chat. Our best overall winner, defending the Zubaz pants that he and his teammate were wearing. Feed Me Rocket says, "Can we talk on touch on the pants that Travis Jacobs and Braden Cole were wearing? My God, those hurt the eyes." He's defending them because they're amazing. They certainly looked very comfortable, and they were distinctive. So if you're going for comfort and branding, I think well done on that. I would not wear those. I would not make those same choices, but they probably accomplished the goals that you guys had. So, A+ on that.
You guys were matching, you definitely could tell you were a team. Yeah, that was cool.
I don't know, would you wear Zubaz?
You know what? If it was the team consensus, yes, I would do it.
I mean, yeah, for the team.
For the team. It's for the boys.
For the boys.
Oh, I shouldn't say that, actually.
Yeah.
But for the team.
Professor Grant in the chat says, learned one big lesson this weekend. I believe that's where you drop all your units on the table. And frankly, I have been there. I have had those moments, not in Warhammer 40k, but I have completely forgotten the rules of the game that I'm playing more than once. So as a fellow bug, a fellow cell of the hive mind, my heart goes out to you.
Bring the bright green neon. Do it.
We can't
do it.
We'd have to pick a different color, like
Why?
40 below blue, because we can't get the green men from the Vancouver Canucks games. We can't copy their thing. But
No, Feed Me Rocket is saying time to one up them.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is like we pick something that's not neon green because we don't want to be too close to Force and Sully from the Vancouver Canucks games who show up in the green suits and like make fun of the players in the penalty box. We should pick like 40 below blue. Just
Not bright enough. Not bright enough. But yeah, no. Also, Professor Grant, I mean, I don't know if I agree with the way you allowed that to play out as a player and a TO, but hey, you know what? That was your choice, and you guys agreed to it. I mean, in hindsight, I think what you should have done is immediately call a judge over and make a decision. Because obviously the more you guys kept doing it and then proceeded to call a judge over, obviously at that point now it's too late. You've done too much. But I don't know. That's my opinion on it. I don't think, you're there to play a game. I mean, I wouldn't want my opponent playing at 1,500 and me at 2,000. I mean, realistically, that's...
Yeah. I think good on you for owning
good on
your
you.
mistake and learning from it, but at the same time, do not be afraid to call over a judge.
Yeah,
I think we saw a lot of judge calls this weekend and a lot of comfort level. I didn't see players stigmatizing each other for the judge calls all that.
And that was good.
So
and again, that was another thing actually. Good point. The scores didn't reflect that because there was a few games that the judge was used a lot, and there's sports scores and stuff like that, that become something that can be very what's the word I'm looking for?
Sometimes people will react to the amount of judge calls in a game, and it shows up in the sportsmanship scores.
Yeah, they take it to heart that someone's calling judge over, and it's and sometimes it's not even about the rule itself. It's just like they don't know it, so they question themselves and what they know or whatever the case may be. Like the one game I played, and I played a game. It was a Necron on Necron game. I called the judge over twice. Like it happens. It's just like I can't figure this out for the life of me. I'm not going to scroll through the whole book looking for this inkling little things. So
And I mean, I
just
do
said
want to give
whatever.
one particular call out. Game 2 on the stream was Bizarre Beast in the chat, Matt Czar, up against Anthony Richardson out of Saskatchewan with a Chaos list. We saw a lot of judge calls in that game, and we also saw some pretty high sportsmanship scores out of that game. So it's two players just like respecting the fact that the game was played out in the correct way. And as I kept saying in the chat over the weekend, we love not okay, I'm gonna go own it. We love judge calls. We love vigilance from the chat. We love when the chat catches a rule and makes sure that it's played correctly in the game, because it's our responsibility to make sure that we put the best games out there. You guys watch our stuff. You learn from it. You study it to see how you're gonna play. If we allow a misplay to make it through, we're affecting the game for tons of people, and it just sets a bad example. So,
No, absolutely.
Yeah. No.
And like it's in most games, you kind of disagree with doing it that way, but having the judge go over and correct things based on a chat. But like you said, we're live. There's lots of people watching. Like, things need to be right. Like, I think there's a level of professionalism there, and I kind of want to use the term professionalism loosely, but at the same time, it's a tournament. There's rules. There's things that are no different than major sports, aside from the volume of people watching and the amount of money involved. But in order to get to that point, you have to start somewhere, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So
we certainly treat it like a very sports type event, as you saw from our earlier over the weekend. Professor Grant says, he was fine with the call. He messed up. Yeah, I'm here with you on that. Bizarre B says, if you're not learning, then you never progress. That's entirely fair. Lark King says, call the judge every single round except against Kyle, because that's game 150 between them. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, and like that should make sense, right? Like if you're playing someone that much, I mean, the likelihood of requesting or coming across a rule you guys haven't already encountered, I mean, that's pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
But
and we got Feed Me Rockets and Professor Grant agreeing that it should be hot pink bodysuits.
Interesting.
So,
all right. Well, when you make a team, you can have hot pink.
Yep.
So put a team in next year.
We will probably put you on stream if you do that. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know.
I am entirely here for a cheap and entertaining show and something that's gonna be memed on the internet later. So you're not no. Okay. All right, I've been corrected here.
That's how they do it in the sports, right? They cover their face or the mic or whatever, and then whisper to each other. Is that until
you got like a mute button and you can
okay.
Yeah, same sort of deal. You just be like, Fabio, you really shouldn't wear that.
Oh, okay. What? It's
Salt is just angry sugar. Yeah, we're here with you on that. Okay, anything else about Planes of War?
That was a good Salt is angry sugar. Yeah, Scott. I'm pretty sure. I heard that from Scott, I think, first.
It's the Salt Miners logo as well. I think it's one of their slogans.
Oh, okay. What else about Planes of War? Honestly, I'd rather hear from you guys. What did you like? What would you like to change?
Tell us in the chat.
Tell us in the chat. You have the floor. I mean, things obviously that I know I've heard the feedback on is people liking the amount of space around tables.
Yeah,
that's a big one. Well lit. The place wasn't stanky. There's still a few. I think one of the things we're gonna do is those yellow cards. No word of a lie. Like, if you fucking don't shower before game day 2, you legit need to. You're gonna get a yellow card because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but
we gotta provide a good experience.
Think of the children,
for our people, right?
Yeah.
And as much as we might not like to admit it, as much as we might not like to call people on it, because we're nerds and we know what it's like to be called out on it and be made to feel uncomfortable about things, it is our responsibility to make sure that people have a good experience. And your ability to shower, to cast water time on yourself is I don't know chaos things. I don't know if that was inaccurate.
I don't know either.
Anyway, it affects the experience for other people. So yeah, that's the thing we're gonna do.
Yeah.
There we go.
And then, just a segue, the double down.
Yes.
So we had the double down for the first time. This is a smaller RTT that is held on the Sunday. Very simplified missions. It's literally just hold one and hold more, kill one, kill more, and then the secondaries are like Slay the Warlord, Linebreaker, First Blood, and Last Strike or whatever it is, or first strike and last strike or something like that. So that's the whole thing. Really simple, and overall, I think the feedback on that was great. I think it's something we're going to do next year again. It's going to be the same kind of style missions, like very simple, just kill and hold stuff, and we're gonna make that public right from the start. This was a last minute kind of ad because of where the numbers were for Planes of War, and they're based on some of the late feedback. So we kind of thought, but it was good. So congrats to Ricky. Ricky played Cult Mech. He went two wins and a draw to steal first spot. Nick Klein scooped second, leapfrogging Brian. So Nick had Death Watch. Ricky had Cult Mechanicus, and then Brian also had Cult Mechanicus. So Brian and Ricky had to play each other in the last round. Nope, that's wrong. Who had to play him? Brian played Nick in the last round.
Okay.
So Nick gave Brian the loss, which bumped him down, and then Ricky came swooping in because the Sisters of Battle let Andrew Webb down. So he got to leapfrog all the way up to the top.
Yep.
So yeah, that was it honestly, watching those games was great. Honestly, thank you. So for those who don't know, Christian is now kind of helping us with a lot of rules, and he's kind of going to be second under Logan, who did a freaking bang up job this weekend. So thank you so much, Logan. He's going to be helping out as well. So with the odd numbers that happened, Christian was able to relieve a lot of pressure on us, because if I had to play all day, although data entry would have been a lot slower, because Josh is on the computer manning the stream, and then Scott's running around doing between maybe doing a little bit of rules judging, maybe between taking some photos, blah blah blah. So there's a lot going on there. So it's hard for him to do that stuff. So I kind of take the reins on the data entry, which is fine. Everyone's got to do what they can, and I definitely can't do the stream. Josh put the headphones on the headphones on my head at one point, and I was like, "No, this is my nightmare." I was just like,
"Here, babysit the stream. I gotta go do it."
Babysit the stream. He's like,
"You don't know how this program works. That program, just do
yeah, no." So it's funny.
Something that happens. Call a judge.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was really good. It was super fun. So yeah, congrats to Ricky on the double down. The double down was I think it was a great time. It was super chill. Hopefully we get more players out. I know there's a bunch of players in the double down that got to kind of see what a tournament looked like, and it was cool because they didn't just see an RTT on its own.
Yeah.
They got to be in an RTT in a laid back setting and got to kind of be involved and still mixed in with a bigger event. Yeah. And they were kind of like, wait, there's really no difference. Mm-hmm. And there really isn't. And so which was really cool.
Yeah, we got some feedback in the chat.
Yeah, let's go do that.
Where are we here? Bizarre Beast, or Larking says event was great. Thank you so much. Bizarre Beast says so many positives, hard to pull just one. He would rate it 9.5 out of 10. The only thing that could have made it better being a major. We're with you on that one. But yeah, for those of you who don't know, Bizarre Beast has gone to events like Wet Coast and LVO, and constantly travels around the continent competing in Warhammer events. So for him to rate us 9.5 out of everything that he's been to means a lot. Thank you so much. Feed Me Rockets was like, venue was great, space was amazing. I wish some of the terrain on the tables was more consistent. Left side from the entrance seemed to have more LOS blocking terrain than the right side, so we saw some swings on those tables, but I know that's being worked on. Yeah, we're going to have some terrain changes and updates for future events like Twin Eagles and stuff, right?
Yeah, I mean, we just make tables that, I don't know, like...
We do our best.
Yeah, we just throw stuff on the table. So no, that's definitely something to consider, and that's may have been a little bit of an oversight. The other thing I actually noticed was on the tables, people move terrain a lot, And
Yeah, I saw that in the stream too. Like, I
so
didn't object.
so like you guys, if a table doesn't look right, you can call somebody over to readjust and say, hey, this doesn't look right, or reposition it yourself, because that, like, so I went around to some tables and I actually moved around. I was like, why does it look like this? Like, there's stuff that was stacked on top of itself, and that was not how it should have been. And all of a sudden there's these huge firing lanes, and I'm like, what, did someone switch this around to appease
Yeah,
what
little
they
strange.
need? So stuff like that was kind of weird. So definitely,
Yeah.
I mean, there was some of that which was annoying, but whatever, what can you do?
Great point of feedback.
Bizarre, yeah, man. Obviously, we want it to be a major. The only way is by word of mouth. We can only do so much. So with guys like yourself, with the guys from the States, with guys that travel, hopefully you can relay some messages to other folks and let them know that how that you enjoyed the event, and hopefully that stirs up more chatter and gets more people out. The other big thing is we're gonna, like, obviously I've been talking to Scott about this, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna send out emails. Like, we're gonna have a mailing list, not to spam people, not like for weekly reminders and shit like that, but maybe like 2 or 3 at most, because we put the event up usually 6 months in advance, so maybe 3 notifications, and then just one with the reminder about like rules or list deadline.
Yeah.
But most people did okay with the lists. Most people got them in. I mean, there was amendments that had to be made, but the idea this year was to get people on the idea of actually there's hard deadlines. People got to read the freaking links because they have information. So shit like that. But the mailing list, I want to make sure it's we want to do that because people really don't understand how strong of a tool BCP is in that regard. And what I think people are missing is, if people from out of town don't click on everybody's websites or go to everyone's Facebook pages, but what they do is they go to BCP and they look for majors, they look for GTs, they look for bigger events, they look for when they are, and then they look at how many locals are signed up. So if we have no locals signed up till 3 weeks before the event, guess how many out of towners we're going to get?
Not many.
And I don't know about you guys, but I hate playing you guys, you locals. I would much rather be playing people from out of town.
You heard it here first.
Shit, is this thing on?
Yeah, no, this is live. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm just kidding, obviously.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's nice to get that variety.
The other thing we should mention about getting our list in early in BCP is it allows us as admins to look at them and be like, hey,
yes,
which one's your warlord?
Fucking bang on there. Yeah, which one's your warlord? Which dynasty are you taking?
What are your detachment, like, what are your sub-faction rules? Because we want to make sure that you have the best games possible, too. And so we want the opportunity to catch these things for you and be like, hey, you should do the thing. Because you want to have a good game. So,
Storm Tigers, 5 games and 6 games for those who want ITC points or running for best general. I guess that is a thing. But on the flip side, our best overall is 33% of your generalship. So if you opt out of that game, you're basically, if you put all this work into your painting and your sports is decent, well, you've just kind of sunk yourself. Yeah. So I mean,
we do have ways that we can handle that, though. I imagine just only counting the top 5 for that stuff and doing a cut to top 6, as I mentioned later in the chat, for a 6th game, and then just doing ITC points for that or whatever. Like, are there ways that we can sort of work that?
I mean, I'm sure there's a way around it, but then they play the 5 games and they sit around and wait.
That's the
like,
other
I'm
thing.
just
like
kind of
sitting there going,
yeah, like, I'm not sure what the advantage is to that. I mean, 6 games, it allowed for nobody. There's one person that went undefeated, right? Like, so that was kind of cool.
We're getting a lot of
we're getting a lot of info. So here, I actually really want to read this stuff.
Yeah, no worries.
Ricky, I'm glad you enjoyed the double down. Yeah, the missions we did, the intent was to allow it to be a much more casual approach, less pre-game thinking involved, and more just getting on the table and rolling dice. So I'm glad you felt that, and that was the intent. So I'm glad you got that from it.
We got compliments on our stream, we're getting. Sorry, I'm blanking. We got compliments on the double down and like on the stream for our terrain too, as people are saying later in the chat. People around the world loved our terrain. They thought it was on point the whole weekend.
Oh, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
that's always encouraging. Um, if yeah, like John, I hear you. Like, I mean, I know they're not some of them were less than or not perfect. We definitely tried to obviously to put a lot more thought into the tables. But yeah, when it get like down, if you, yeah, the right side, like especially the back, the last row of tables, those were intended for the double down. So that's why they were like kind of
Okay.
different, right? They weren't
Simplified terrain
simplified
a little
kind of
bit.
terrain a little
Okay.
bit more. So if people were complaining about being on a table that they had already played on and like, oh, I want to play on a different table, yeah, I threw them there, but that was, that's kind of them falling on their own sword if they didn't like what the terrain looked like. It's not about sitting around and being like, which table can I jump on that's open that like fits my needs. You know what I mean? And like, and that honestly, that was kind of annoying that some people did that. They're kind of like, oh, I don't really
Really?
like how this one looks, and then just kind of like, well, then go play on the table you started on because that's the way that that's kind of
That's fair.
something what happens. But anyway,
Adjust
whatever.
in divine terrain. It's a constant process, and we're working on it. We're bringing the best terrain we can every event, and next event will be even better, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, John. I mean, I know that not playing that six game is big, but
It's something we can work on.
yeah, no, there's definitely a lot to. There's definitely always stuff to build on. So I trust me, I'm gonna be taking screenshots of this shit and going through it later because like I'm so engaged with the chat right now because I just want to know
Yeah.
like it's I
Drink it in.
I love that you even in the chat everyone there's a lot of different opinions and it's great because honestly at least we have opinions. Like
Yeah.
last year everything was great. And then so we changed some stuff, not to take away from what we did, but thinking that it's just going to enhance what people wanted, and it actually kind of did some of the opposite. And we're just like, well, how are we supposed to know if no one tells us, kind of what they like to see and stuff? So no, trust me, like I don't like we're not going to get offended. Like
No.
we're beyond that. We're already so offended by everyone. Like you can't say anything worse. But yeah, so no, really appreciate all the feedback. I know I'll have to go through this later. I can't even. I'm just like
Yeah,
I want
that's
to
fair.
read,
We'll
and I'm
go
looking
through
down
it.
at my phone and trying to read instead of chatting. But yeah, I mean, just keep please anything like from venue. The one thing I will do is we have a shareholders meeting at the Holiday Inn this week. Because it's the first week after, like the first week of the month.
Okay.
So I will be making sure that next year we have servers coming around
Oh, excellent.
for drinks because I wanted it last year. They didn't do it. I told them I wanted it this year and it didn't happen. I don't know if it costs something to do it. I don't know if, or if we got to bring our own server in and just say they're working on tips. So guys, tip the ladies or tip the servers.
Yep.
And you'll get stuff brought to your table.
Because I mean, like, first day, second day, you ran around and got food orders.
Yeah.
And that like made things a lot easier for everyone.
Yeah,
So
and
bringing the servers in the future.
yeah, exactly. And the reason I did that was because the kitchen is just going to get slammed if everyone goes at once. So at least if I was able to get 25, 30, 40% of the people that wanted to order from that restaurant's ordered in ahead of time, then that means that's way less of a stress or a strain rather.
Yeah.
For the rest of them when they show up. So that was good. But yeah, so guys, think about like when I'm asking about feedback or when we're asking about feedback, it's venue, it's even price, what price gets you. If there's something like the plaques, if you maybe want to see something different. What else? We're changing up the website. Everything's gonna be one link, and it'll have subdivided tabs. Because there's too many links, and we got that from a few people. And honestly, I just thought this would be the easiest way because it's broken down very simply. Like if you want this, you click on this. If you want this, you click on this. But for some, that's more annoying. So I think we're gonna go the other way. So it's all in one document, and we're already working on that. So it'll happen. What else?
Definitely.
Tables are always a tricky one. Honestly, if we get more people like on the Friday for setup, if we get more people there and not so much to help actually put out the tables, but walk around and try and be as objective as possible and being like, if I looked at the table from this angle, or you walk around the table, if there's like an angle that looks off, then you move the terrain around to try and make it as balanced as possible, or as evenly distributed, right? Like we have other eyes, like, because honestly, I got there at 3 in the afternoon and I left at 10 p.m. and it's just staring at terrain for that long. You're just like staring at a computer or staring at a book.
The forest for the trees.
Yeah, you just get squirrely. But
yep.
But yeah, no. So, but honestly, I think it went well.
Nice.
So
Thank
what
you,
we got?
Larp King, for your shout outs for the chat. He says, people say that to run long-standing majors in the ITC Zero stream is top-notch. Thank you. Renegade Open cut players, and a lot of players were disappointed with that. We hear that from you. Budtastic Guy says, Chaos Dwarves suck, ban them from all events. I assume that's directed at you.
Who's that guy? Bud, oh man, Bud. Can we get an admin to ban Bud from the chat for the rest of the night?
That's a great question. He's entertaining me right now, so I think he stays. Professor Grant can get girls that do massages. We won't ask you too many questions about that. Fantastic Guy says, you said you wouldn't get offended. Well, clearly that didn't happen.
Well, that's just a different system. I have a different set of offensive ability. I don't even know. Yeah, no, John, that's actually a good point. Some of the train did have to move for objectives. That is a very good point. But on the same note, they're not responsible to move it back. But if the next players get to the table and something looks really off, they can also move it. Or if they want someone objectively to move the terrain, they can certainly do that. So, I mean, I get what you're saying, though, and that is a very valid point. So that is something I personally kind of dropped the ball on when setting up the terrain. Logan and I just powered through it and tried to make everything look good and balanced, as best we could on each table. But I think it both slipped our minds at both the objectives, and that's a very fair point. So thank you for that. I will definitely be marking that down for next time.
All right, so we're going to go over all your feedback in detail,
and
make sure we take it in mind for our next event, which is a beautiful segue to our next section, which is about upcoming events here and around. Normally we would have a list of the week, but after Planes of War and with the result screens coming up, it's just we felt it best to focus on that. So next show we'll have a list of the week. But yeah, we've got. Can you pass me the script there? Thank you. I'm not actually a good producer. I don't know why people pay me to do this. So, Bunker Buster on Saturday, June 16th. Do I have that right?
No, 22nd.
22nd. Bunker Buster on Saturday, June 22nd. Tell us a little bit more about that. It's Age of Sigmar, right?
Age of Sigmar. The Siggies are out. We are sold out. I think we have 14 players. I'm pretty sure last time I checked we had 14 players because I got the notification saying it was sold out.
There you go.
So that's dope. But I think one guy's dropping, so there might be a spot if someone wants it. If they don't, I will take it because I want to roll some dice if I have the opportunity to. So that's that.
Yep.
So that's gonna be dope. And then we've got dates finalized for the next 2 Bunker Busters. So we're gonna have doubles coming up in one of them. So we'll have all those, and that's kind of in preparation for the expo and for more Twin Eagles.
Yep.
So that's kind of people getting their toes wet there. And then the next one is Apocalypse.
Everything's gonna end. Everything will die.
Apocalypse.
The world as you know it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be dope. So we're
Excellent.
gonna do that. So just kind of stitch it up a bit. The ITC kind of half of the season's done. I know some other guys are kind of jumping on other events. Like in Brandon and stuff like that, they're helping run that are also IDC events. So if you're looking for IDC points, there's still lots out there. Mm-hmm. But you have to travel a little bit, and that's cool. Get out there, meet people.
Meet a player that goes to the other cities.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's dope.
Real quickly, for those of you who don't know, 40 Below Expo is our event that we run annually in August, and it's focused a lot on some of the other formats that aren't your main 40k or Age of Sigmar formats. Mm-hmm. Or no, we are running Age of Sigmar for that, right?
The intent is to run 40k Age of Sigmar.
He's getting me excited. Yes.
Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anyone.
Probably no one picked that up. I think it was way too low there.
But we will have a Kill Team tournament happening at 40 Below Expo,
and then,
which is close to my heart.
Yeah. So and then the league has done really well, so we definitely want to keep that going, let people kind of experience the kind of tournament aspect of Kill Team. I think that'll be so unreal.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, like trying to, talk to other stores and other guys that are running the events that they're passionate about, like Star Wars, maybe Infinity, War Mahords, doing some other stuff in venue too, because we're all playing tabletop games, right? Like, it's just kind of cool.
And then I'm just going to roll through this quickly. October is our legendary, famous, the one that started it all, I think, for us, Twin Eagles, which is a doubles tournament. 2 days, 5 games, I think?
No, 2 days, 4 games.
2 days, 4 games.
You guys you think it's like, oh, we can get more games in, but you'd be surprised. No one ever finishes the game in the allotted time. So
doubles games take longer because you talk back and forth,
right?
the
back and forth, even between teams. So it's not you and one other player working things out. It's now you and your opponent, you and player 1 on the other team, you and player 2 on the other team, and then that times 4. That's a lot of conversation. And obviously, but before both those, before both of them, PrairieCon. I don't know if it's like a Salt Miner kind of running it event, or if it's just John Kilcullen kind of just taking the spearheading.
Regardless, props to him.
Yeah, good on you, man.
That is June 15th at the
Assiniboine. Get to judge the judges.
Judge the judges. PrairieCon is June 15th at Assiniboine Community College in Brandon. $20 a player. It's a doubles event, so you're paying $40 a team. Believe the tickets are still available for that.
John, drop in the chat. What do you just register in BCP and then pay at the door, or like how does that work for you?
Let us know.
Let us know, please. So we're going to be reminding people about that. He's posted up in their event chat date that lists have to be submitted by, reminding people to sign up on BCP. I think that's really it. So there's some rules up already.
Nice.
Yeah, there's some finicky stuff that I guess that had to be outlined. So he's got that in a document also available on that Facebook page. So make sure to go check it out. Read the shit that he posts. He's taking his time to give you information ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Read it.
Read the things.
Rant over.
Yeah,
no,
thank you.
Just that rant over.
Okay.
So what else we got? What else do you got?
We've got the Calgary Warhammer League is having their CWL Open at the Ogre's Den in Calgary, August 3rd and 4th.
Yep.
Tickets are $55 for that. They're expecting a reasonably large event, and they are still available. If you go look up the CWL Open on Facebook, you will find more information about that.
Yeah, so we will... I actually dropped the ball on that. I apologize. I was supposed to post a link to it today, and I actually ended up buying a house today officially. So I know I'm an adult. I'm another adult now. No more condo life. I have to have a yard to mow.
No one else will judge you. So, you got a garage, you can paint Warhammer things.
Yes,
in, right?
Yes. The silver lining, which actually can lead us maybe into our next point. This is yours. This is why I can't. Where are all my notes?
Real quickly in the chat before we go to that, Lark King, who's John Kilcullen, who's running the event, is saying you can pay at the door if you wish. Scotty adds, PrairieCon tickets are up for pre-sale on the website. You could also buy at the door. Please register with PrairieCon if at all possible, because that helps them a lot.
But you have to, it's just like everything else. If it's running with BCP, that registration is just to put your name on the list. You need to still pay through PrairieCon's page.
Yep.
John, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that is no different. Just like we do it with all our events, You have to pay on our website and register through BCP. So don't forget that. That is important.
Lark King says, who and the 2 other miners are going to the Calgary Warhammer League Open? Props to you. Budtastic Guy says, don't lose your keys. I think he exists to torment you or something.
Don't lose your keys. Did I lose my keys?
No, I was just in the chat. Don't lose your keys.
To me, or was that to...
we'll find out.
Was that to Dustin for losing his keys and had to drive halfway to...
Okay. Context is important, folks.
Yeah.
Anyway, you were going to say you have your nuts.
So now that POW's over, now that I've confirmed I'm moving into a lot of square footages, battle reports.
Yes.
So we have. I think we've pretty close to finalizing our layout. I mean, So as far as what our stream is going to look like. So now with that, an official permanent space, We are going to be setting up some tables down there, and it's going to be Kill Team, Age of Sigmar, and 40K. So if there are people, locals, that want to come down and game and let us record the battle reports and put them up for other people to enjoy as well, feel free to give us a shout, and I'm gonna start compiling a list.
Yeah.
Just so I have an idea of who to like reach out to when the time comes. But yeah, so I definitely want to start doing that. Producer Josh and I are gonna be, making sure to lay everything out properly. We're gonna run get my guys to run some conduit and actually get this thing looking sharp.
Nice.
So yeah, that's kind of something that's gonna be happening. So look, our target is September 1st. So it's going to be after my possession, after I get a little bit of time to, settle in and get things laid out. And then we are going to go hard in the paint, which is really exciting because honestly, I've been wanting to do battle ports for a long time. I know a lot of other people have been really wanting to do it. And, the infrastructure is slowly starting to get to the point, and our layout's at a really nice quality. So now it's going to be, it's going to be go time.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited too because like one of the things that's been preventing us so far is having like a very controlled environment of the right size. For those of you who don't know, I am a goddamn diva and I'm difficult to work with. These guys, him and Scotty, have been like, hey, do you want to use green screen? And I'm like, no, not until we have perfect lighting. Hey, do you want to do a battle report? No, I can't because we don't have this and this and this. So by September 1st, we're going to have all of the stuff that I've been demanding like a diva for the last 2 years, and we'll be able to do battle reports on the regular, which is super exciting. I am definitely stoked for that.
Yeah, so it'll be good. I mean, who doesn't like watching battle reports, right? And if it's nice and crystal clear, everything's
alive.
Yeah, so that'll be really exciting. I'm tired, but I promise I'm excited.
Yeah, it's been a long weekend.
It's been a long weekend.
Us.
And honestly, like for me, I like I've always said, I've told people like I enjoy gaming still, but I much rather run events. Like the challenge and the thrill of an event going well is something I just like. I don't know. I personally love like seeing a stream go off the hinges. For our first time like that was definitely something really cool. Like we were over 60 people steady all day too.
We were 60 people concurrent steadily, and we crested well over 70 at a few points.
Yeah,
so.
which I know it may not sound a lot when you look at some of the other streamers out there, but like doing one stream a week, and sometimes we take breaks, and we're not like consistent streamers yet. It's cool, and all the banter back and forth, like all the chatter is always exciting to see.
The reach we got, because it was like more than 4,300 people came through the stream over the course of the weekend. And like I mentioned, we have people from Australia and Sweden and Finland and the States and the UK watching. It was incredible.
No, it was really cool. Yeah, we love when people walk onto that canopy that aren't supposed to. It's really exciting.
Don't trigger me.
Don't do that. Don't. Oh, did something happen? Did John do that to you?
No, it's just been like Scott's in the chat going, yeah, we're having a 4K camera mounted to a canopy, and John's like, yeah, you love it when people walk into that, right?
Yeah. No. We actually have darts and we let you throw them at it and see who can knock it off.
So it's been a great show. Anyway, I am so tired. How are you feeling?
Honestly, I'm like, my body says go to sleep already, but I'm pumped, man. Like I think I'm at my highest in wanting to hobby the most after running events, because seeing everyone put in so much effort and just having like a good time, it just like it kind of like revitalizes me. So it's cool. It's a good feeling, and maybe that's why I like it. Maybe that's why I like running events, because I get that sweet high after.
So many people.
Because like on the Friday, I'm a fucking stress bag. Like I am not anybody's friend. Like because it's also like panic, because I just want everything to run smoothly. But there's always problems. Like. And like even the guys that pointed out the BCP issue, thank you so much. Like we were able to reach out to BCP right away and get that sorted out. I mean, I'm not a fan of interfaces changing without notification, or how to revert back to the standard. I think everything should always start at a standard, and you deviate from the standard.
You never update the night before. And BCP did that to us, so it was just rough.
I don't know if it was the night before, but when your event is in 6 months ahead of time, and you don't touch it for 6 months because it's like it's in. Like, I don't need to do anything. And then all of a sudden, it's like the day before you.
Yeah.
Like, who would think to start looking at that kind of stuff the day before? But anyway, it happens. It's all good. Lesson learned. So that's cool. You know, you're always learning stuff. So that's never a bad thing. But yeah, other than that, guys, I don't know. I think that's it. I don't know. What else we got? We talked about events. We talked about about Planes of War. Oh, man, we know what we didn't talk about? The fucking wooden spoon.
The wooden spoon.
Okay. So I went down to the States with John and Marcus. And this was, I don't know, maybe like a month. No, maybe 2 months. Maybe almost 2 months ago.
Yep.
And they, they had the winners, whatever. And then they had the wooden spoon. And I was like, oh, what the wooden spoon? It's like the person that comes last. And I was like...
Last, but...
No, theirs was just last.
All right.
And so I was like, okay, I think it's funny. It's a lighthearted thing. And you get a booby prize out of it. So that's kind of cool. And so the stipulation we spun on it was...
Last, but you played all 6 games. You stuck it out.
Yeah, you stuck it out. So this year it went to our hardened vet, Mr. Ovi.
Local legend.
So that was super cool. He usually does a little better than that, but he's just one of those guys. I still love it. He just doesn't give a shit about the missions. He just I just want to fucking shoot shit and roll dice and drink a lot of beer, and he does that.
Yep.
Steve outdrank him though, because
Wow.
Steve didn't make it to game 5.
Like, not that I doubt Steve's drinking ability, but Ovi is so up there, and the fact that Steve, it's just cool.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
So that was cool. But yeah, so good. Congrats, Ovi. And the wooden spoon is definitely going to be a different type of award. We're going to make a plaque for it and little plaques that are going to go every year. So Ovi will be the first to get that one, which is super cool. And I think we're going to do the similar thing for the double down. So there'll be a bigger plaque that has little tags that you get on it that we keep, and then there'll also be something that they take home. So it's I don't know. I'm just a big advocate for engraving into something. No different than this bad boy.
Cool.
So
one-handing it.
Whoop. So Pal's next spot will now go to Travis.
Yeah, Travis Jacobs.
Travis Jacobs. So he will our first American on the Canadian POW GT.
You had to come in and take it from us. You had to come in and have a Freedom Award. You had
Yeah.
to liberate our stuff, didn't you?
Yeah. This is why we can't have nice things, boys.
Nope.
No, but that's cool. So that's super cool. So we can do that. I mean, I got this trophy sitting here still that has no. This is an old one from GW.
Nice.
GW used to give these out. So I'm kind of thinking maybe putting tags on the side all around this thing and then building it up. So that might be kind of cool. But
that's good.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe for the double down or our whatchamacallit. Or we could use it for the wooden spoon, or if Age of Sigmar, kind of gets off, this could be the start to that. I don't know. Who knows?
We'll find out.
There's options.
Options.
I got options. I don't know. Fuck. Anyway, so that's kind of cool. I just like that stuff. It's always a feat to keep these events going.
Be part of history.
Yeah, make history. Back in my day. Anyway, so now it's cool. I don't know. Anything else, guys? Always feel free to message the page. Good, bad, negative, indifferent feedback. Please make sure to, if you like us, follow us, give us feedback on the Facebook page.
Yep.
It helps get our reach out there further, let people know more about us and what we're doing. And yeah.
I'm going to call it there.
Yeah, you're going to call it? Okay.
I'm going to call it. This is...
Let's do this.
Season 6, Episode 10 of the Dusty Auspex podcast. Thank you for joining us for Planes of War. Stay tuned. Our next stream will be next Monday for Episode 11 of the Dusty Auspex podcast. We're going to take
What are we going to talk about?
I don't know. I am so tired
Does the next mission for Kill Team start before then?
Not at that point. Month 4 of Echoes of Eternity will start June 15th. So we'll figure that out.
Well, I guess we should probably talk about PrairieCon maybe a little bit.
I am so tired. Can you just hand me the pillow?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just we're gonna. If you're not rolling ones, you're cheating. But we're so done.
Peace out, guys.
Peace out.